Good evening. Welcome to the West Mead Township Board of Supervisors meeting for February 2025. Roll call.
Jordan?
Here.
Charles?
Here.
Hobart?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note that all supervisors' public meetings are subject to public and/or private audio and video recording. Is there any public comment on agenda items? Hearing none at this time, please note that public comment will also be received during each agenda item and at the end of the meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve the January 6th, 2025 reorganization and regular meeting minutes as presented in our packets.
So moved. I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes. I entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report for January 2025 and approve the payment of bills in the amount of $111,427.19, subject to audit.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion?
It's paying the bills.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes. And we'll move on to our municipal reports. We'll start off with Police Chief Chip Brown.
Good evening. For the month of January, we received 38 complaints. 38 of those were taken care of and cleared. There was 4 hours spent in the school zones. There was 110 and a half hours spent on traffic watch and patrol time in the township. 80 and a half hours was spent in the office doing reports. There was 39 hours of investigative time with a half hour spent in court. There was 22 hours of miscellaneous time. For traffic stops, there was only one, but there was one citation issued for obedience to traffic control devices. We assisted fire and EMS once. There was one fingerprint request that needed completed. We investigated 2 reportable motor vehicle accidents and 1 non-reportable. There was 1 winter parking ordinance violation and 1 animal complaint. We had 2 CYS investigation reports, 1 fraud, 1 burglary, 1 theft. There were 6 PICS investigations that needed taken care of. There was 1 physical assault, 1 trespassing, 3 harassments, 1 call for suspicious persons, 1 call for behavioral. There was 1 residential alarm. We assisted citizens 3 times, assisted motorists twice, assisted disabled vehicles 3 times. We recovered 1 investigation of stolen property. There were 3 check welfare calls, and there was 1 summary arrest for the month, and total mileage was 1,453. I do have one more thing.
Okay.
Sorry. So Officer Slagle received a packet from Maplewood Elementary School from Mrs. Doubt and Mrs. Watson's 5th grade students in reference to their positive behavior program, where they sent a letter and they handmade several thank you cards thanking Westmead Police Department and Officer Slagle for the positive behavior program. So I just wanted to thank them from Maplewood Elementary School in Townville. And we also have a letter that we're sending back that we received it. We've all read the thank you notes. Kind of unsuspected, or, didn't plan on it. But it's kind of nice that the school, even though we are not part of Maplewood, but that they sent the letters out, and so much appreciated.
Well, he has a connection out there.
He does.
Yeah.
He coaches the younger kids basketball team.
Right.
And so his first end of the year, first part of the year, his schedule is kind of up and down. But, I think it's a positive influence on the kids with him coaching basketball. And we appreciate the cards, and they were all handmade and they're all handwritten inside, so.
Hey, listen, if you can get some respect for law enforcement today, then that's a good thing. Doesn't matter what school it is. So,
Agreed. Any updates on the cruiser, the replacement cruiser?
Jill and I have been talking about it. I have sent stuff to the guy, and we're just kind of holding off for a little bit and gonna hit it a little harder next month. And then delivery dates aren't as bad as what they were the last year, so, or the last one we bought, so.
have you researched what, though? I will tell you, I've talked to a couple of state troopers, and they've indicated that, you know, they're fed up with the Fords, and then they tried the Chryslers and had some issues there, and had indicated that they were considering the Tahoes, even though it was a 5.3,
The 5.3s.
but it's still, I mean,
Anything I've seen and read, and I've had quite a few magazines, is they're still leaning back towards the Fords. The Durangos with the 6 cylinders have their issues with the transmissions.
right,
There's, like, with our personal Durango, there's issues with the front cradle not really being up to par on them. So, you know, no matter what you do, the Tahoes, when we first talked, we thought they came with a little beefier motor in them. The 5.3s, not that they're not reliable, but they have their issues too.
Yeah.
So it's a crapshoot what you get.
their
It
money
seems like
difference.
pardon me?
Is the money difference, or,
It's within a few thousand of each other.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not, you know, very, so what we used to pay extra for the EcoBoost motors is now standard. So the price difference has come down, but then they get you on other options.
well, you know, the only thing
So-
for me, when I look at what we've been through in the past, and I gotta tell you, everybody said the same thing, even the dealerships, and, I'll throw out a name, Tim Betts. You know, he's right in the thick of it with the Fords. The idle time is what's killing them. And the turbos don't get enough oil, it dries them out, burns them up. Well, what we spent to put 2 turbos on that one, and then it didn't last 6 weeks, and what went through the turbos went through the motor, and we ended up putting a motor in it. Now the thing's on its way to a junkyard. So, it's kind of difficult. That's the only part when it
When
comes
you-
to
the
the
only-
after repair is what I'm worried about.
The only thing I can, and what I can say is, I think on the longevity, they have that issue. But each one has their own quirk.
Yeah. But you're saying to Chevy, just, you didn't think it would be the performance side of things that you would want? Or you don't know?
I don't know, I would actually have to test drive one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen, does the state have any around here?
Chevys, I don't think.
Just
Yeah.
Durangos
Yeah.
and Chargers.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of
Yeah.
the Tahoes around.
You know, the Chargers, are they all-wheel drive? They are?
Yeah, as far as I know, the
What's
ones I
the, what's the
read on.
verdict on them?
They're holding up better than the Durango, but depends on who you talk to.
Yeah,
Some people like them, some don't. Some
Yeah.
say they're size-wise are a little crampier than,
yeah. I think before we pull the trigger on the next one, and there is a next one, that we do a lot of research to make sure we get the best bang for our buck. It's been extremely expensive, especially that last one.
yeah, but that was a 2015.
I get it, but, you know.
We haven't had any problems with the newest one, have we?
Not really,
No,
just,
it's just some minor stuff, but,
just brakes.
yeah, brakes and rotors, you know how that is. So, but they're just expensive to repair, that's the problem,
No.
terrible. I mean, we probably put $12,000-13,000 in that thing, and it's on its way to the junkyard, and we barely got 13,000 out of it from the insurance company.
Well, if that deer wouldn't have been on a suicide mission, we'd still be running it.
I know, I know.
And to be honest with you, the guys like that one better than the newer ones.
Yeah, but I mean, there it goes, 2 new turbos, brand new engine, and it's headed to a junkyard, and we took a bath on it. That's the problem. So, anyhow,
Any more questions or comments for Chief Brown? Thank you, Chip. John with the road report?
from January 6th to today, again, we had 31 days of actual winter maintenance where we were out plowing roads or putting down thawing agents, salt skid mix. We also had been handling a number of ice buildups where we've had water that's come out onto the road, a couple locations on Liberty Street, a little bit on Tamarack and Williamson Road where we've had to go out and cut ice off, and the water's just changing directions. And I think part of the problem on Liberty was they've changed on how they plow, and it's letting the water get down. So we did some work down there to try to take care of that. But beyond that, we've been out fixing road signs and posts and delineators, and also repairing stop and caution lights. We were forced to have to haul some snow out of our cul-de-sacs and make room for some more snow, and also push back intersections. We did have a chance to get out for 2-3 days to start to cut some brush. We had some equipment repairs, some plow edges that we had to replace, and hydraulic hoses on some trucks that needed to be replaced. We have been out a couple of times on Liberty Street, cold patching. As of today, we set that area up down there by Rand's and below Rand's, Porter's house. We put lights and barricades and everything up on both sides of the road and cones. So I'm just advising everybody, slow down in that area because we've had cold patch in those holes twice, and it's too doggone cold, and the streets froze. We've burnt the holes out to try to thaw them out to try to get the cold patch to stay. It's not staying in the holes. We're gonna try to go back down again tomorrow and approach that again. But that area, and I've had complaints, and rightfully so, it's bad. Oh my, yeah, it's blowing up.
Is it?
It is, and I mean, there's.
Well, once water gets in them holes, they're freezing.
It just blows them up. And so, like I said, we had them cold patched, but there again, 2 days later, we're right out there on a plow, and if it's not biting the hole, it pops it out. So we're gonna try it again tomorrow and try to heat them up and try to get them patched. But we do have that area for people to slow down. And my recommended speed is not over 15 mile an hour through that area, past Rand's and Proskowski's it's Liberty Street from Mulligan Lane to the 5 corner intersections. That's my recommendation. If people go faster than that down through there, then you're probably gonna have an issue hitting potholes. So,
Well, you can't miss them.
well, you can't, and there's too many of them. So, again, we're gonna try to go back after it tomorrow, but that's our month.
All right, any questions, comments for Don? I would like to thank you for addressing that today with the rough road signs and
You saw
the
that, did
very,
you?
the very rough road signs.
Yeah, well, I had to, yeah. Those came from, I borrowed those from Vernon, and he said he had them out, and somebody went up there and wrote "very" on the top of them. I said, that's okay. That's fine.
All right. Jill with the zoning report?
For the month of January, we had 2 permits issued. One was for the property on Alden Street. They are going to reconstruct and renovate the 2-family house, the duplex, and he's chomping at the bit to get out there. He's waiting for the deed to transfer. So that's going to be a big improvement down on Alden Street. And then the other one was the demolition of a house due to the fire. So
Right.
those 2 permits were issued, and
Where
that's
the,
it for the month of January.
where the fire was at now, he's indicated he's gonna rebuild
Yes.
there.
Yep. He's working with a contractor to get everything finalized and down and
I got you.
graded, and then he'll work on building permit, things of that nature
Is it-
later.
and
He's gonna hire a contractor to rebuild there?
I didn't say, nobody said that.
Demolition contractor.
Oh,
to
oh,
demolish. I didn't-
demolition, yeah.
Maybe I misspoke, but
Wow.
No, I mean, you can interpret that a number of ways. But the other thing that's an okay thing is he indicated to us that he's gonna put the other project on hold. till further notice.
Good.
Third lane.
That'll keep him busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, any questions, comments for Jill?
Nope.
We do have, it's not on here, but there is a variance hearing that just came about, but next Wednesday is a variance hearing for the property down on Liberty Street that was the
It was
pet parlor or
A
pet.
loving touch pet parlor.
Yeah.
Yep. And now
Dog grooming business.
somebody's got a contract in place to purchase it. If they get approval, she wants to do her massage and meditation, through the building there.
Okay.
Okay.
So it should be quieter than dogs, maybe.
Goes down there to get counseling, is that it? Gotcha.
Thank you very much. Okay, the first item under regular business, we're going to consider a request to subdivide lands owned by Alexis Vanderhoof, shown on the Vanderhoof 2025-1 subdivision plan for property located on the Franklin Pike. The subdivision involves subdividing lot number 1 consisting of 0.774 vacant acres from tax parcel number 3218-018 to be transferred to Michael and Melissa Leonard, and this lot would be combined with tax parcel number 3218-017, which they currently own. So I guess, Alan, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Essentially, the subdivision has been approved by the planning commission, and it involves taking this small parcel from this parcel to its rear and adding it to the parcel along through Franklin Pike. That's what it amounts to, and there's nothing wrong with the plan as I understand it's been proposed, so it can be approved.
And Mr. Leonard's here. Do you have anything you'd like to add before we turn you down?
Hopefully not.
You need a motion.
Need a motion?
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the request and authorize the signing of the Vanderhoof 2025-1 subdivision plan for the property located on Franklin Pike as presented, pending final signatures and any other necessary requirements. Anyone want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Gordon?
Yep.
Charles?
Yes.
Hobart?
Okay, yes. All right, Mike, you got your property.
All right, now I gotta go to the fire station.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Number 2, we're going to hold a public hearing to consider the adoption of ordinance number 2025-2, an ordinance to establish a tax credit program for West Mead Township Fire Department and Emergency Medical Service volunteers. So, Alan, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
In 2016, the Pennsylvania legislature passed an act number 172, which enabled townships and other municipalities in Pennsylvania to grant certain tax credits and tax relief for persons who served as volunteers in a volunteer fire department and/or served as emergency medical service providers under a nonprofit organization as well. Those volunteers would then, under this legislation, if the township adopts an ordinance implementing the program, enables them to receive tax credits on properties, number one, on properties that serve as a residence within the municipality, and the amount of the tax credit that they would be entitled to under the ordinance being considered by the township for relief from the real estate taxes would be 100% of the taxes that would be levied against the property and paid to West Mead Township. The other tax credit that they would be entitled to under this ordinance, if adopted, would be a tax credit for the amount of earned income tax that they pay to the credit on an annual basis, and the maximum amount that they would be entitled to in terms of that tax relief would be $500 per year. The ordinance establishes that the criteria for being eligible for this tax relief will be given to those volunteers which meet certain criteria as set forth in the resolution that will also be a part of be up for consideration by the township supervisors tonight as well. And that resolution establishes the criteria that they must meet in order to qualify for these tax credits and tax benefits each year. And essentially, it's set up, the criteria are set up so that it involves a certain degree of participation in the volunteer activities that help the fire departments or the emergency medical services provide their services and continue to provide their services. So it's based on their participation, involvement in training the exhibit, the times that they go out and train and those kinds of things. All of that would be included as meeting their requirements for eligibility. There are two things which you need to do tonight in order to enable this tax credit to be given to those volunteers. One would be to adopt the ordinance that's been presented and advertised, and the second would be to adopt the resolution that would establish the criteria that have been evolved, I guess, out of discussions with the two fire departments in West Mead Township. The persons who are eligible for it have to be residents of West Mead Township, and they also have to serve in one of the two fire departments that are identified in the ordinance as well. The whole purpose of this was to encourage new people to volunteer in those two service organizations, and it's hoped that it does that. So if you need any more information, I'll try to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Do we have any public comment on the proposed ordinance? Okay, hearing none. Supervisors' comment.
Well, I think this is a good thing for our residents. I think also, the people that participate. I mean, and we've talked to the chiefs and that, and don't make it so rigid that, you chase somebody away. This is to bring people in. I think, they did a good job at that, so I'm all for this. This is something, I just wish that some of us that have been volunteers for a long time would have had a chance for something like this, but it's too late now, so moving forward, I think it's a good thing.
Would that apply to a lifetime member? No? Yes?
If they meet the criteria.
Gotcha.
The years of service would certainly,
Is one of the factors.
Yeah.
is one of
Yeah.
the factors.
Well, then Mike,
Don, right now, with your participation, you qualified, Don?
No.
No.
I got 42 years in, but I need 175 points. I'm way below that.
Yeah.
well, I think it's a good thing myself, too. You need some sort of incentive to bring younger people into this fire organization or these volunteer fire companies.
The only thing I wish that it did is a lot of the volunteers don't live in the township that they, serve.
Right.
And there being a responsibility that they could go back to their townships and they would sign up where they could have the benefit. That's the only thing that's kind of bad, But,
So it would eliminate that.
well, they would get the tax benefit,
Yeah.
but I understand. There's, you can only do what you can do. So,
Well,
but I am for this, so.
yeah.
I guess I'll just add that the county commissioners have appointed a fire commission and an EMS commission. And one of the efforts that has come out of those commissions is a push for these tax credits as a way to not only recruit new members, but to also retain current members. And I know that Vernon Township already adopted an ordinance and a resolution sometime last year, and now we're doing it. I know the county commissioners are considering it as well. And if they haven't already done it, I don't think they have yet. But
No, I don't
know
think
they're
so.
considering it. And hopefully other municipalities will follow suit.
Yeah.
So that being said, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-2, adopting an ordinance to establish a tax credit program for West Mead Township Fire Department and Emergency Medical Service volunteers to become effective on February 17th, 2025.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Gordon?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes. Okay, next up, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-4, establishing eligibility requirements to qualify for ordinance number 2025-2, which we just approved, providing for a tax credit program for West Mead Township Fire Department Emergency Medical Service volunteers. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Jill, do you have a Cliff Note version of the criteria? Or let me just talk about the criteria. Alan kind of touched upon it.
You receive points depending on your status in terms of within the organization. Event points, they call them, meaning that you get points, accumulate points for attending meetings, in-house trainings, responding to incidents. And then certified training points that you can establish as well, depending on the nature of the courses that you take throughout in those classes that they provide. And then there's certain discretionary points depending on, the service that you're not asked to perform, but do to help the fire department and the other organizations maintain their operations, so.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think at minimum, they have to meet 175
75.
points
Per year, yep.
to be eligible for the tax credits, and the members also get 1 point for each year of service that they have. So, that being said, any other discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Item number 4, I will entertain a motion to ratify Cody Slevin as a full-time road department equipment operator laborer, as he has served his probationary period with West Mead Township Road Department, and he gets an increase in pay of $1 per hour effective February 1st, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion. He's doing pretty well, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, he's come on board, and he's probably the most fit one of the whole group, to tell you the truth.
He's the youngest, too.
He's the youngest,
young.
yeah. Yeah, he's not completely served his apprenticeship in the rough world. But anyways, he's doing great, he really is. He's learned the township real well. He's plowed on both sides, he knows our streets. He's doing a good job, he really is. Good fit, good fit.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes,
Bovard?
yes.
Yes. Item 5, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Richard Moyer as an auditor for West Mead Township to finish out the remaining term of Beth Chapel, ending on December 31st, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Jill could probably enlighten you a little more on that, but we were needing somebody, and I know Rick was called, and I know Rick for over the years, and Mike knows him. You probably know him too,
I
don't you?
just met him tonight.
He's a good fit, I think, to get us through this, and he's agreed to do it for the year, right? Not
Yeah.
beyond.
Well,
So maybe, see.
yeah, the term is up this year
but,
for the auditor, but he's serving to finish out her term. And, yeah, they're
Or if
working
he'd
away and.
stay
doing
on
well.
until we find somebody or something like that, but they seem to be like a well-oiled wheel in there going away.
Well, we've had some changes this past year because of going to QuickBooks from the previous financial software. So it was kind of a learning curve, and we're trying
Yeah.
to really make it better for everybody in DCD reporting. And so we've worked really hard this year.
Yeah,
because
but
it
it's-
took,
It's right up
even-
his alley, though, I
Yeah.
think, isn't it?
Him and Debbie Pip has also helped.
Right,
So
right.
just both
They're
residents
both
of
very,
the township.
they're both very good.
Both
Debbie's good.
very,
Very good
knowledgeable,
people.
so.
Yep.
All right, any more discussion? Roll call?
Gordon?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. All right, next up, item number 6, we'll talk about our Township Cleanup Day. The date has been set for Saturday, May 17th, 2025, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Crawford County Fairgrounds. I will entertain a motion to authorize the secretary to obtain quotes and ratify the chairman to sign the agreement with the Crawford County Commissioners to use the fairgrounds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
It's just our annual cleanup day, and it's having it at the fairgrounds is really great. So I thank the commissioners for all these years of being on board and still on board. It's just a good place. It's an open area, lots of room, and, you know, it keeps us from stumbling over one another. Easy with that. Right?
Yeah, right. His day's coming.
Yeah.
Did we make the motion?
Yeah, we
Made
did.
it. All right, roll call.
Jordan?
Yes.
Startle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. All right. Item 7. The topic is exonerating our tax collector. Due to the removal of non-resident deceased individuals from the per capita tax rolls and adjustments in assessed value of real estate. I'll entertain a motion that we exonerate our tax collector Janet Peters in the amount of $127.58 for real estate taxes and $945 for per capita taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
It's just an annual occurrence.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Startle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes.
Did you have a comment, Jill?
I was just gonna say, and if she would have been at the earlier meeting, the per capita seems relatively high this year when you look at the dollar amount, but she also had a change in software, so there was some differences, and she had to exonerate quite a few per capita, so.
All right.
Item number 8, I'll entertain a motion to enter into a salt contract participation agreement with the state CoStars program, for 1,000 tons of road salt for the 2025-2026 season.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Discussion, used a lot this year. I think.
We've used a fair amount, yeah. But also too, you know, Jill and I talked about lowering that. With the winter that we had this winter, I just soon leave it alone, just to be safe. And just to let people know that, you know, we also help provide salt to some other municipalities that don't have the ability to store it, and they can come here and pick it up. And so we currently are working with East Mead, Union Township.
East Fairfield still?
We had been working with East Fairfield, but they ended up putting up a building, and they were doing okay on their own.
Good.
And I will tell you, there's surrounding municipalities here that know that we have agreements in place, Woodcock being one, Vernon. I'd like to say the city of Meadville, but I'm not going to. But anyhow, we carry a pretty fair amount of salt, and there are people out there that know that they can call, and if we have it, we're willing to help. And again, we get something, either get paid for it or we get something in return.
They've, the salt off the dock's been exhausted this year. It's gone off the docks up in Erie. And it's moved it out from Ashtabula. Now they're over in even farther. They said that salt, like down at DeSantis's, now everybody's running low on salt.
We see, the only thing that helped us this year, Mike, was our contract coming out of Cleveland. And they had ample amounts.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, until now, you know yourself, when you get salt in the winter months, it's a risk
Yeah.
of what you're gonna get. But we always, Jill and I work together to get our bin filled up, or our building filled up in July, because we're buying it at the last year's price.
Right.
And we have the ability to put 800-900 ton in there. And we try to get it in with it dry and no lumps. And we did order 160 ton this year, and it came in and it was lumpy and hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So, but we're in good shape. We're gonna get through the winter good. I know there's been others out there that haven't been as fortunate.
No.
So, but that's the salt.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Startle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Item 9, I'll entertain a motion to authorize joint roadwork bidding with various municipalities of the French Creek Council of Governments for 2025 various paving and road projects.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
We had a meeting here a week ago, last Friday. And, pardon?
Yeah, Friday.
And with our PennDOT representatives, and actually, we're getting a new guy coming in. His name's Craig Kennedy. Seems to be a good guy to deal with. But, you know, it's part of the motions, where you gotta go through the motions and have these meetings, find out who's on board, and it's a tentative start to the 2025 paving. If anybody's interested here for us, why, we're gonna do the brush cutting up on Baird, Sarah, around Barber Lane. And hopefully try to, if the numbers are right, we're gonna try to do Helen and Calvin as well. And I can tell you, this winter's been tough on us, so there's gonna be some patchwork that's gonna need done. So hopefully the dollars come in good and we have some extra money to do some extra work.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Dartle?
Yes.
Over.
Yes. And the last item under business, item number 10, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the secretary to obtain quotes for anti-skid and aggregate materials under the state contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
It's-
Another annual
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we're bidding mainly the AS2 anti-skid. We've found that it's a lot less trouble. The AS1 is finer and it freezes harder.
It's dirtier.
Oh, and it's terrible, and it's hard to work with. And the AS2, you can get it in and deal with lumps and
They break.
you can break them up with the loader and the backhoe and, you know, it's not as hard to work with. It's clean and it's good stuff.
Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Dartle?
Yes.
Over.
Yes. Okay, is there any public comment this evening? Supervisor's final comment.
I don't have anything tonight. See you in the spring. Maybe by next month here, things will look a little better than what they're, sounds like we're gonna get another round here this
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, Wednesday night into Thursday, they said it's pretty heavy.
Rain, said we could have over a quarter inch of rain.
Yeah. And
Then
then,
it's supposed, next week's supposed to be cold.
yeah, of course, 30 degrees too in rain, 32. So that's always a recipe for disaster.
Especially when we got frost in the roads.
Oh, yeah. So, and I will tell you, this winter's been tough on us. In all the years that I've lived up on that hill, I don't think I've ever seen Leslie Road heave the way it's heaved
Oh,
up.
boy.
Oh,
It's not the only ones.
Oh, no, they're, all the roads are
Take
good.
what, Route 86 and that brand new.
Oh, I know, I felt that the other day.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's bad.
So,
And,
M&M winter.
yeah, so that's kind of my final comment.
I don't have anything this evening, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Dartle?
Yes.
Over.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a nice evening and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, you're really.
I'm ready early.